Greetings. I'm Tracy Knight speaking to you from the wilds of Illinois. Although I met Phil a few times during the 1980s, we became fast friends sometime in the mid-90s, and we spent much time with Betty and Phil in a variety of contexts and situations and came to know them quite well. And the first thing is he was one of the most generous of souls, generous with his time, support, wisdom, and friendship. Beyond our many visits over the years, Phil also would call me regularly just to chat about something he'd read or heard. And if my wife Sharon answered, he always would spend 5 to 10 minutes flirting with her rather charmingly. Before I talk generally about Phil, I think it would be negligent not to mention Betty Farmer, who was the spine of the family, working hard to keep the family and Phil upright and being a consistent and strong champion of Phil's, who was afraid of nothing and no one. Phil, at his base, was a playful and mischievous soul who changed the landscape of science fiction and literature through his works. And it's always seemed to me that he did so not by aggressively storming the castle and battering down its gates. Rather, he charmingly sweet-talked the castle guard, all the time trying his best not to break into laughter. And eventually, the guard found him irresistible and let him in, as did we. In archetypal terms, Phil was a trickster figure whose life and work not only delighted us and him, but also enlarged our lives. When I reread Phil's work, even those novels and stories that are more serious in nature, I still picture him winking with just the hint of a smile. Indeed, what is most memorable to me about Phil the person was that he was virtually always on the verge of a chuckle or perhaps even a chortle. He was delighted by the ride of life. And those times when one of us would share a line he found hilarious, his belly laugh was something to witness. Leaning back in his recliner, his head cocked back, the laugh came from deep within him, and his tongue would extend a bit from his mouth and vibrate like a lizard's. I've never seen anyone else on earth do that. Try it. Existentially, the bottom line for me is this. Voltaire wrote, "God is a comedian, playing to an audience too afraid to laugh." Phil got the joke.